Pinfest 2026 in Allentown, Pennsylvania is now in the books. I wanted to make a video taking pictures of the back glasses with the different prices that were listed this year to try to give people an idea of what pinball prices look like in 2026 on the used market. My overall opinion is that they're more fair than they have been in other years, probably going on the downside. I think that as the years go by, the next year will probably be even less as more games come out onto the market. I always had this prediction that pinball machine prices would fall, particularly the newer machines falling. But even the older ones are seeing some price weakness. Not all of them, but some of them. And I wanted to go through this video showing you the prices, and I'll give you my commentary. Each one of these pictures is 5 seconds long, so you don't have to sit through very much, but it's pretty interesting to see the current pricing. All right, let's start with RollerGames at $4,400. That's a big old note from me. Hot Shots, $1,900. All right, a little high, maybe $1,500. Countdown, $2,400. No freaking way, $1,500. $300 at $800. Not a bad deal. World Challenge Soccer, $2,300. Seems a little rich for my blood. Aliens, $7,400. I'm honestly not sure. Metallica at $8,600. I'm not spending that on a used one. Star Wars Data East, $4,500. Nope. Pass. Goldeneye, $4,000. Nope. Not buying it. Doctor Who, $3,700. Not buying that either. Judge Dredd, $3,500. Maybe. Seems a little high. Houdini, $5,000. Zero chance with the new Houdinis coming out. Mandalorian, $5,000 Pro. Nope. No chance. Way overpriced. Future Spa, $3,500? No. Come on. Medieval Madness, $11,000 OBO? Nope. Phantom of the Opera, $3,800? Nope. F-14 Tomcat for $2,750. I think that's a little high. Williams Contact for $1,400? I don't know. Pac-Man for $1,200. Okay, maybe. The Wizard, $1,800. Seems high. It's an EM, come on. Bounty Hunter for $1,950. Seems a little high to me. I would think more like $1,500. Foo Fighters for $9,500. I wouldn't spend $1,000 on this game. It's horrible. Gottlieb Kings and Queens, $9.99. Too much. Lightning was $2,500 and sold. Seems expensive. I doubt it sold for that. Paragon, $2,900. Seems high. Flying Carpet, $900. Seems a little high, but you could probably get them down on this one to something that's reasonable. Cleopatra for $1,200. I like it. That's a good deal. Rescue 911, $2,500. Maybe. Nitro Ground Shaker for $1,900. Seems like in range. Maybe a touch high. Black Knight, I can't. $2,750. I don't like this game. I wouldn't buy it. Gulfstream, $1,200. Seems a little high. Sure Shot for $750. All right. Maybe. I bet you can get this down a little bit. Looks like the back was a little messed up. $3,800 for Counterforce. Robo War, $3,950. The Simpsons Data East, $2,450. Maybe a little high, but it's not in the range. $3,200 for a Dr. Dude. All right, maybe. Doctor Who, $3,800. I don't know. That seems a little rich. $3,200 for Rocky and Bullwinkle. Seems a little rich. $2,800 for Gottlieb Hit the Deck. Seems like a lot. Haunted House for $3,000. Seems like a touch too much. Wasn't on. Probably didn't work. $1,900 for Star Trek. Not bad. Maybe a little lower than that. Paragon for $2,700 seems high. Jurassic Park for $3,800 seems high. Genie for $1,500. That seems like in range for a Genie. Williams Trizone, $1,250. All right, we're talking here. We can cook with that. Mars God of War, $1,900. All right, we're in range. Ninja Eclipse for $7,100. I don't know who's buying this. Dungeons and Dragons Stern, $6,100 for a Pro. Seems like a lot for used. No Good Gophers, $4,000. Seems a little rich. Bally Broadway, $800. Okay. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, $3,800. This seems like it's in range, maybe a few $100s too high. Honey, $650. All right. You get that thing for $500. Spirit, I can't read the price here. I'm not sure what it was. Dancing Lady for $650. Okay. Seems like it's in range. I don't know if the lady dances. Big Engine, $1350. This is a rare one. I don't think very many were made, so that might have been a good price. $3,500 for a Monopoly. Seems like it's in range. 8-Ball Champ, $1,800. All right, not bad. Whirlwind Total Chaos, $5,000. This is some kind of a revamp there. Didn't seem like a bad price. $1,800 for Space Invaders. All right, it didn't seem to work. Lightning, $1,800. Not bad. Laser War, $2,250. Seems like it might be in range right there. We have a Black Knight for $2,250. Backlash a little messed up. Doesn't seem like a bad price, though. Black Knight 2000, $3,100. Again, doesn't seem like a terrible price. Not a game I would buy. Dialed In for $6,200. These have definitely come down. You're getting a lot of game for $6,200. Dungeons and Dragons Original, $3,600. Not sure what they go for, but it is a fun game. Earthshaker, $4,000. OBO. All right, that'll go for $3,500. Space Shuttle for $2,900. Seems a little rich, but it is a really fun game. Bankable by Gottlieb, $1,100. Seems a little rich. Could come down a little bit. Big Day, $1,100. Also a little rich. I'm not paying over $1,000 for one of these. Flipper Parade, unless it's amazing. Flipper Parade, $1,000. World Fair, $1,100. So this is all the wedge heads, and they're all around $1,100. We have a Strikes and Spares, $2,200. Seems a little rich, but not bad. Has a sound mod of some sort that they were bragging about, so it might have been cooler than a normal one. We got a Baby Pac-Man, $2,100. Stingray, $2,000. I'm offering $1,500. Star Wars, $3,900 OBO. All right, it seems a little high, maybe. This was a great deal. I should have bought this game. It was $825 lunch deal. Should have offered $500 and took that off his hands. This is $1,500 for a Jungle Queen. That seems very expensive. Star Trek, $2,200. A touch expensive, but a good game. Spot Pool, $950. You know, you can get that down. Earthshaker, $5,200. I don't know what these people are smoking. Trizone, $1,100. All right, we're in range here. A Toledo for $475. If it works, seems like a great deal. Independence Day, $3,400. Seems expensive for what it is. Star Wars Home Edition, not even a pinball machine. Paragon, $3,750. Way too expensive. No thank you. Genie, $1,750. Seems a little high, especially with the way that the board in the back is messed up. Sega Space Jam, $3,750. Galaxy, oh, not for sale. Why'd I take a picture of it? What's wrong with me? Space Shuttle, $2,100. OBO Friday only. Skyjump, $1,150. Seems a touch expensive. Skylab, $750. All right, we're talking. $2,200 for a big gun. Seems like that's in range. Maybe it's $200 too high. Space Odyssey, $1,300. That seems like they're smoking crack. Gladiators, $3,000. King Rex, not for sale. I guess I messed this one up again. Joker Poker, $2,500. Seems high. Elvira, $4,400. Party Monsters. People want this one. I don't know what they go for, though, exactly. $2,200 for Stellar Wars. Doesn't seem too bad. Maybe a few $100s too high. Mars Trek. Oh, I know who was selling this one. He just wanted it fixed. He didn't even want to spell it. $700 for a fashion show. 2-player EM. All right, sounds like a deal. Monte Carlo. Missed the price here. We have a Swinger for $750. I played it. It worked. It's worth the money. Road Kings, $2,200. Maybe a few hundred too high. Bowling Queen, $995. New Backlast. All right, not bad. Frankenstein for $3,400. I don't know. Take $400 off that. Rocky and Bullwinkle, $3,000. Take $300 off that. Dancing Dolls, $950. I don't know. Not bad. Take a few hundred off that. Spaceship, $1,400. Yeah, I'm not paying that. Unless it's amazing. Vegas, $2,150. Take a few hundred off that. Hurdy-gurdy, 1950. I played it. It's nowhere near as nice as the one I used to have, and I paid a lot less for it. $3,900 for a Whirlwind. All right, probably in range. $3,000 for a Popeye. Probably in range. Monster Bash Original, $10,000. Probably in range, but I wouldn't pay it. $29.99 for a Pistol Poker. This was a very interesting game, actually. Multi-Mall Firepower, $2,200. All right, not too far off. Elvira, $73.99. It's probably an okay deal. Pulp Fiction, $8,200. I think this is the super great one. Probably an okay deal. $39.50 for a High Speed. Too much money. Foo Fighters Pro for $5,300. I wouldn't spend $1 on this game. Terrible game. Barracuda, $4,200. Taxi for $3,500. Probably around what they go for. Drop a Card, $900. Seems a little rich, but not terrible. Fireball, $1,200. That's a great deal. I think this was a good deal, this one. Flash for $1,100. This seems like a pretty good deal, too. We have an Iron Maiden Premium for $8,500. I don't know. Flight 2000, $2,180. Okay, not that bad. F-14 Tomcat for $2,300. Not that bad either. There's some deals. Haunted House for $3,100. Eh. Lethal Weapon 3, $3,000. All right, not bad. You can probably get a couple $100 off that if you negotiate. Genesis, $2,200. Maybe a touch too expensive, but not that bad. $4,200 for a Funhouse, another game that I despise. I wouldn't pay anything for that. Big Brave. I guess I didn't catch the price here. Pulp Fiction, $67.50. I think this is the lower version of it. Gold Strike, $2,400. No. Guns N' Roses, $6,500. Another game. I wouldn't spend $1 on it. Pinball Pool for $3,000. I know this is a good game. I'm not sure what it's worth. Firepower, $2,250. Seems rich. Star Trek: The Next Generation, $5,600. Seems like a lot of money. Tommy the Who, $59.50. I'm gonna pass. Ripley's, $4,900. I'm gonna pass. Big Deal for $1,500. Seems about $500 to $700 too high. Ultraman, $4,200. They're not going to sell it for that. $750 for Aces and Kings. Not too bad. Buck Rogers, $1,600. Not that bad. Addams Family, $10,500. They sold it, so can't say anything about that. Frankenstein, $4,000. Seems a little high. Hot Wheels, $5,900. That seems way too high for a used one. I've seen them going in the 4,000s. Sing Along, $1,150. Seems a little bit too high. Captain Fantastic, $1,500. This didn't seem like a bad deal. Maybe it's a little too high, but not that bad. I hope you enjoyed my commentary and subscribe to B-Man and Beyond for more.